I'm edition. Former MP Cyrus Jirongo to be laid to rest in Makanda on Tuesday in accordance with the cultural traditions of the Tiriki community.
We are extremely disturbed that there is a court order that was issued by Malindi courts on 24th of December asking that the status quo be maintained. But what we are seeing is that the cutting of trees is going on.
Ikiwa hii development itaendelea hapa bila kusitishwa, tutakulazimisha OCS ustopishe hawa watu kuendelea na hili zoezi haramu.
Watamu residents clash with the police over defend housing project despite existing court orders that prohibit the project.
Kupata buduki badia ambaye iko hapa, funguo ambaye zinatumika kwa kuvuja manyumba, na pia numbers ambaye pia wanaweza kubadilisha gari ndio iweze kuonekana kama ni gari ambaye ni halali, lakini zile namba wanatumia ni namba Gucci.
Police recovered toy gun and fake plates after chase of suspects in Gatongora in Kiambu County. Traffic snarl-up leaves hundreds of motorists stranded for more than 6 hours on the Nakuru-Nairobi highway. Alright, we're live across the social media platform that is on Facebook, on YouTube, and you can as well send us your feedback through our SMS line that is 23059. Now, EBN Prime Edition starts now. And the body of the late Cyrus Jirongo, former Lugari member of parliament and prominent politician, arrived at his home in Kitale, where family, friends and leaders gathered to pay their last respects. The burial preparations are underway ahead of the body's transfer on Monday to Lumakanda, Lugari, where the late Jirongo is scheduled to be laid to rest on Tuesday in accordance with the cultural traditions of the Tiriki community. Now, leaders who attended the wake called on police to expedite investigations into the road accident that led to his death, emphasizing that the family deserves justice and clear answers regarding the circumstances of the tragedy. Cyrus Jirongo, known for his active political career and public service, will be remembered for his contributions to national and local politics, as well as his role in advocating for the communities he represented.
The whole story is about how, at the height of the post-2007 election violence, he rode on a black Mamba bicycle, persuading his constituents to take in internally displaced persons. Even when his electoral ambitions did not yield victory, he never retreated from public life. Cyrus Jirongo believed that leadership was not about winning once, but about standing up every time.
It is very hard for me to imagine not seeing him driving in past the true gates as he's coming home over our weekend or over a public day. It is very hard to imagine that I will not hear him ask for his boiled maize and black tea. It is very hard for me to imagine that I will not hear his booming voice and his loud laughter. It is very hard for me to imagine that we shall not hold discussions over farming, over politics, over the family. It is very hard. Yet, we must move on. And in the midst of all this heartache, we trust God.
All right, moving on, 6 fishermen have drowned in 2 separate incidences at Sanda and Mageta beaches on Lake Victoria in Siaya County. Now, the first incident occurred at Sanda Beach, where 5 fishermen fell into the lake after a boat they were in capsized. Now, security teams have recovered the bodies of the 2 fishermen, which have been taken to the go-to Macharia, while search operations for the remaining 3 are ongoing. Now, authorities have launched investigations into the incident, and local rescue teams are working to ensure safety measures are enforced for fishermen operating on the lake. Right, moving on, Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has called for a comprehensive investigation into alleged killings of civilians by police officers. Now, speaking during the official opening of the Hafsa Binti Sirin Madrasa in Garissa County, which is being upgraded into an integrated school offering both primary and secondary education, Duale said all allegations of extrajudicial killings must be fully investigated to ensure justice is served. The Health CS emphasized the importance of accountability within the security sector, noting that no individual should be above the law. Now, Duale also criticized some residents of Garissa for relying on alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, warning that such practices often deny victims justice, especially when suspects in criminal cases are apprehended. Now, he urged communities to work closely with law enforcement agencies and the justice system to ensure crimes are addressed through legal channels.
And not only in Garissa, everywhere in Kenya, life and property is entrusted with Almighty Allah, but delegated through Him to those who are in authority, and that is government.
Nao miongoni mwa vijana tumewashika mara nyingi sana. Hata wengine tunapata mwenye alidhulumika anafika katika kituo cha polisi. Atakapopata alichokipoteza hataki kuandikisha statement. Kwa hivyo kwa upande mwingine maafisa wa polisi wanakosa
Right, now let's talk matters politics. And several leaders from Kitui County have come out in defense of Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka following recent remarks by President William Ruto alleging that Kalonzo did not deliver development projects in the Ukambani region. Now, the leaders dismissed the president's claims, arguing that Kalonzo has played a significant role in championing development and representing the interest of the region over the years. Now, they further endorsed Kalonzo Musyoka's bid for the presidency in 2027 general election, saying he remains the best candidate to lead the opposition and challenge President William Ruto. And according to the leaders, uniting the opposition behind Kalonzo will be key to unseating the president in the next polls.
Hivi juzi president ameanza kuongea maneno mingi ya viongozi wa opposition. Kwanza amesema hawana akili, hawana agenda. Kitu ya kwanza, agenda ya opposition ni kutoa Ruto. Hiyo ni agenda ya kwanza ile muhimu sana. Na asione kama opposition hakuna watu wamesoma sana. That we know what we want to do. Isn't it? Saa hii tax, kila mtu saa hii tax imemaliza watu wa chini kabisa.
Rally behind Kalonzo Musyoka. Ana matusi, hata kitusiwa yeye anasema mimi niko na agenda ya Kenya. We want sober leadership. The sober which has not installed. So the leadership which can bring you together, sit down and reason together. We don't want to have someone who is know it all. You can't be advised. We will support him and we rally all the Kenyans. Let's get out. It's not about money, it's about what Kenyans want and want change.
Jamii ya Wakamba inatutegemea sana. Tafadhali nataka sote tuangalie, tumshike mkono ama tumuunge mkono mgombeaji wa urais Daktari Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
Still on matters politics, Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya has called on political leaders to embrace respectful dialogue and issue-based politics on addressing the public. Now, speaking during a meeting held in Trans Nzoia County, Governor Natembeya warned that the use of hate speech, mockery and derogatory language by politicians fuels division among Kenyans and threatens national cohesion. The governor criticized leaders he accused of using inflammatory rhetoric to incite the divide the public, saying such conduct undermines unity and peaceful coexistence. Natembeya emphasized that political discourse should focus on ideas and solutions that address the needs of citizens rather than personal attacks.
Wakikuja huko Matanga kule Pungoma kazi yao ni kutukana watu. Mbona ukienda Matanga kule Keruja watukanani huko? Wanadharau Mluya, lakini mambo ya kudharau Mluya ujue kwamba Natembeya amekuja na kifuri kubwa namna hii. Si ndio? Hiyo ujinga hakuna. Ama namna gani? Heshima sio utumwa. Sisi Waluya ni watu wa Mlembe. Kama waelewi maana ya Mlembe ni amani, ni peace. Ni kusalia wapea Mlembe, sio sema Mlembe ndi kutusi. Nikisema Mlembe iko amani kati yangu na wewe, mambo yanafanya nini? Imeisha. Waelewe mila za watu.
Right, moving on, Willis Otieno, deputy leader of the Safina party, has called for an end to the inheritance politics, stressing that no single individual should claim authority to speak on behalf of the entire community or the nation. Now speaking during a football tournament in Siaya, Otieno reflected on the legacy of the late Raila Odinga, describing him as the last prominent leader of Nyanza, while urging political actors to avoid using personal influence to dominate regional or national discourse. Now Otieno emphasized that the real challenges facing Kenyans, such as poverty, disease and literacy, should take precedence over politics driven by personal interest. Now he called for leadership that is inclusive, where every Kenyan is given the opportunity and capacity to participate in national governance. He also criticized some politicians for misleading citizens with contradictory statements regarding development projects, warning that Kenyans should not be deceived. Otieno also insisted that the current governance period must focus on the welfare of all citizens rather than serving narrow personal agendas.
Kingpin of the Luo community should not be discussed. Raila Odinga was the last kingpin, and Raila Odinga represented the interest of the entire community and the nation. In his absence, the issue that is affecting all Kenyans is poverty, disease, and illiteracy. Those are the key concerns of the people of Kenya. And if anybody is to be a kingpin, it is every Kenyan should be a kingpin. Every Luo should be a kingpin in his own right. And we all unite to address the problems affecting Kenyans. We cannot have a situation where one individual claims to be a kingpin to satisfy his own personal interest. The king, how are you going to get to Singapore with lies? Last time it was bottom up, then Sijui Asla Fund. Now it is Singapore. Lying to Kenyans. Don't lie to the people of Kenya. This era we are in is about the people. And of great concern to everybody should be the welfare of the people.
All right, now a standoff erupted today in Watamu as residents, environmentalists and human rights activists confronted police while demanding that a housing project be halted. The demonstrators accused the developer of continuing construction despite existing court orders that prohibit the project. Now they further alleged that police were protecting the contractor, allowing construction to proceed in violation of the law. Now tensions rose as protesters gathered near the construction site, calling for immediate enforcement of the court ruling and accountability from authorities overseeing the project. Local leaders and activists emphasized the importance of upholding the rule of law and protecting the environment, warning that ignoring court orders sets a dangerous precedent for future developments.
We are extremely disturbed that there is a court order that was issued by Malindi courts on 24th of December asking that the status quo be maintained. But what we are seeing is that the cutting of trees is going on, the clearing of the land is going on, and the police are protecting them. So the police are protecting the violation of a court order. How can they do that? Police are not respecting the law. Police are not respecting the court order.
They did the same in Nairobi. Nairobi Makongeni pale walifanya hivyo hivyo. Koti ilisema sitisha, wakaendelea na hawajali jambo lolote. We the people, kwa sababu katiba inasema na inapatia nguvu wananchi, for the people have the power. Ikiwa hii development itaendelea hapa bila kusitishwa, sisi wananchi, watetezi wa haki za kibinadamu na wananchi wa Watamu, tutakulazimisha OCS ustopishe hawa watu kuendelea na hili zoezi haramu.
My message first and foremost is to the police, acheni kutumika vibaya. Your work is to protect the community, and what you're doing here is going against the community. Stand together with the community, help the community protect their park. And even as the speaker who has come before me, amezungumza about this being a good tourist destination. I came here for Watamu for the nature, and the first thing nakutana nayo hapa the main roundabout ni fence, naambiwa ati kuna project inajengwa sijui affordable housing nini. It has been quite disappointing.
Ujumbe wangu napeleka kwa Mheshimiwa Owen Baya. Tafadhali, sitaki kupigiwa simu na vibaka wako. Tafadhali, sitaki kutishiwa maisha. Mimi siogopi kufa. Kufa ni jambo la kawaida na tushaandikiwa, kila mtu atakufa. nilikuuliza swali kupitia kwa kibaka wako. Je, unaweza kutusaidia aje? Nikajibiwa kuwa order from above. Nataka unijibu, order from above ndio ilikuchagua ama sisi ndio tulikuchagua?
The only thing that we feel as a people we were left out as far as this is concerned is that there was no opinion from the citizens of this area. Sawa sawa. So we kindly ask our president, and we thank him for this, we thank our governor, we thank our MP, but let them come and sit down with us as a people.
Nikamsikia mbunge mwenyewe akiambia mtu hapa Watamu ya kwamba wacha wale wanaopiga makelele Watamu wafanye makelele, lakini sisi tutadefy court order. Mbunge Owen Baya anasema ya kwamba wafanyalo, lakini tutadefy court order. Huyo ni kiongozi kweli? Si kiongozi. Halafu anataka 2027 aje hapa tena atuconvince sisi wajinga, sisi ambao hatuheshimu, tumrudishie kwa kitu.
Now, police have recovered a toy pistol and fake number plates after a dramatic chase involving a suspected criminal vehicle that was abandoned by its occupants. Now, according to police officers, shot at the tires of a speeding Toyota Wish after the driver failed to stop, disabling the vehicle and forcing it off the road. Now, the car eventually veered off the road and came to a halt, allowing the suspects to flee the scene on foot. Now, subsequent search of the abandoned vehicle led to the recovery of a toy pistol, fake number plates, and other assorted items believed to have been used in criminal activities. Now, speaking after the incident, Kibadi said investigations revealed that the vehicle was a hired car fitted with fake number plates, a tactic commonly used by criminals to evade identification during crimes. Now, he warned car hire companies to exercise greater caution and thoroughly vet their clients, noting that hire vehicles are increasingly being used to commit crimes, a practice that could potentially implicate the owners.
Tuliweza kupata ripoti ya kwamba iko wezi ambaye walikuwa nafuja nyumba hapa katika eneo la Destiny, wadi ya Gatogola. Wale ofisa walikuwa na shika doria, waliweza kukimbia pale na wakapata kweli ilikuwa watu 5 wakiwa na gari ambaye namba yake ni KDL 764S, na wakati waliona maofisa wa polisi wakaweza kukimbia. Ndio polisi waliweza kupiga risasi ile gari lao, wakapiga gurudumu la nyuma na wakaweza kuitoa ile pumzi. Gari iliweza kusimama na pia wale wezi wakaweza kutoroka. Polisi waliweza kukaribia ile gari na wakati walifanya ile uchunguzi ndani ya gari waliweza kupata vitu bidhaa kadha wa kadha ambaye tunashuku ya kwamba zinatumika kwa wizi hapa Ruiru na mahali pengine hapa Nairobi. Ukiangalia hapa mbele yetu tuko na vifaa ambaye tumeweza kupata bunduki badia ambaye iko hapa, funguo ambaye zinatumika kwa kuvuja manyumba, na pia numbers ambaye pia wanaweza kubadilisha gari ndio iweze kuonekana kama ni gari ambaye ni halali, lakini zile namba wanatumia ni namba guchi. Tungependa kutoa tahadhari kwa sababu kwa wale ambaye watu wanafanya kazi ya kukodisha hii magari. Tumekuja kugundua ya kwamba hii magari yanatumika kwa wizi, kwa hivyo wawe waangalifu, waweze kuchukua details mzuri ndio waweze kujua kwa hakika ile watu wanakodisha hii magari wanatumia kwa ile njia ambaye ni halali. Ukiangalia zile bidhaa ambaye tumepata hapa ambaye inatumika kwa hii wizi, hizi nia ya hii watu ni nia ambaye ni mbaya, kwa sababu naangalia wako na vifunguo 148 ambaye inatumika kwa kufungua manyumba na kufanya maovu zingine zote ambaye hii funguo zinaweza fanya. Pia hii bunduki tunajua kwamba ni hatari ikiwa kwa watu raia wema hataweza kujua ile bunduki ambaye ni guchi na ile ambaye ni halali. Tumeanza investigations, bwana DCI hapa na timu yake tayari wamejitweka hiyo kazi na wanawafuatilia kwa karibu, na saa hii tumeweza kujua mwenye gari ni nani na tunamsaka. Kwa hivyo kwa muda kidogo tutakuwa tumemweka kizibani. Tungependa kushukuru wakaaji wa hapa kwa sababu ile ripoti wameweza kupea sisi na ile kushirikiana na watu ya hapa ndio tuweze kushika hawa magenge. na tunapea hii watu ambaye wanafanya hii kazi ambaye ya kuvuja manyumba za watu hapa, ya kuiba, tunaweza kuwapea tahadhari ya kwamba hapa Loiru hawana nafasi, na sisi tutahakikisha kwamba tumewashika na tumewapeleka kotini na washughulikiwe kulingana na sheria ya hapa nchini yetu.
Right, it is exactly 18 minutes past the top of the hour. We are due for our first breather here on EBN Prime Edition, but we'll be back in just a bit. All right, welcome back to the program. My name is Macharia, and let's continue. And hundreds of travelers were stranded for more than 6 hours on the Nakuru-Nairobi highway overnight following a severe traffic jam. The congestion was reported along several sections of the busy highway, including Kikopey, Barnabas, Kinungi, and Kimende, where traffic flow slowed to a near standstill for extended periods. Now, passengers and security officers blame the traffic snarl-up on motorists failing to observe traffic rules, now including improper overtaking and lane indiscipline, which worsened the situation. Most of the affected travelers were returning to Nairobi after spending the Christmas holidays up country. Ilikuwa kazi. All right, moving on, artists and online content creators in the country could receive significant relief if the Youth Creative Economy Bill of 2025 is passed by Parliament. Now, the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Youth Affairs and the Creative Economy, Fikirini Jacobs, said the bill, which has been submitted to the National Assembly Committee on Sports, aims to promote, regulate, and empower the creative sector to generate more revenue. Now, speaking at the second edition of the annual Mr. and Mrs. Samba event held in Kwale County, Jacobs noted that the proposed law is designed to create a structured framework that supports growth in the creative industry. Now, he added that the bill also seeks to protect talented young people from exploitation by unscrupulous individuals who take advantage of their skills.
Ili tu encourage innovation pia na authenticity ya mawazo ya vijana huku pia mashinani. Ndio tukataa ile mambo ya kwamba kijana ameleta wazo lakini kwa kuwa hana pesa ya kuipeleka mbele, kumetokea tajiri amechukua idea yake, amekimbia nayo, ameenda akajinufaisha nayo. Na lastly, ku incentivize the creative economy space. Kwa sababu ukiangalia hata maneno ya monetization ya katika the creative economy space, hata content creators, hata wale wako TikTok kwa mfano, utaangalia kwamba katika taifa la Kenya kwa mara nyingi the only way our TikTokers earn is through gifting, where young guys go live, wanasema tap tap tap, mara anapewa lions, sijui anafanywa nini. That's the only way TikTok pays. But in other places, TikTok is a serious industry. It's a serious investment. It's something which has produced millionaires in the US, for example, dollar millionaires.
Kwa sababu si kila mwana kijana ataweza kupata degree na diploma, labda ajiriwe na serikali. Lakini tunaamini kwamba creative economy, vijana wakitumia talanta zao, wanaweza pia kujitengea biashara na pia kuajiri wengine. Na ndiposa tuko na PS kutoka kwa State Department ili kwamba aweke pondo kwa ile dhana kwamba vijana wakitumia talanta, wakiwa creatives, wakitumia mtandao vizuri, basi wanaweza kujiekezea maisha mazuri hata kama hawajaajiriwa na mtu mwingine.
Now, the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, that is NACADA, in partnership with the National Disease Control Department, has conducted a program to educate residents of Nandi County on diseases associated with alcohol abuse. Now, the initiative, implemented across various parts of the country, the county, aimed to raise community awareness on the harmful effects of alcohol and other risky behaviors that contribute to the spread of sexually transmitted infections through community meetings, health education workshops, and the media campaigns. The partners endorsed or encouraged residents to adopt preventive measures to seek medical services early. Now, officials said the campaign is part of ongoing efforts to promote healthy lifestyles and reduce the incidences of alcohol-related and sexually transmitted diseases in the county.
I can strongly affirm concerning surge in alcohol and substance use during the festive season. This period is often associated with increased celebrations, social gatherings, and a general festive mood, which contributes to higher consumption levels and related risks. With the children and youth at home for the festive season and long school holidays. Parents must act as responsible role models.
All right, moving on, Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano has said that improvements in security, robust infrastructure and effective marketing strategies have contributed to a significant revival of the tourism sector in Kenya. Now speaking during a Thanksgiving event in her home village of Gwakihara, that is in Daragwa, Nyandarua County, CS Miano noted that these measures have led to the notable increase in domestic tourist arrivals, while rural economies are beginning to benefit from the sector's growth. Now, the Cabinet Secretary emphasized that government efforts are ongoing to restore confidence among travelers and investors, ensuring that the tourism industry continues to thrive. And according to Miano, the initiative have also opened new economic opportunities nationwide, particularly for rural communities, highlighting domestic tourism as a key driver for the sustainable growth within the sector.
Unajua wageni wengi hawaelewi Kenya yetu, lakini tumeweza kuweka mikakati ya marketing ili tuwaonyeshe na tuwajulishe ile Kenya iko. Maneno ya security imeimarishwa kupitia tourism police units, na hiyo infrastructure nimeongea. Tumepata viwanja za ndege zimeweza kuwa improved na mabarabara. Kwa hivyo tutaendelea hata mwaka ujao kufanya kazi kwa bidii zaidi tupate wageni wengi. Siku zijazo tumepewa target kubwa ili tuweze kupata wageni zaidi ya 500,000 kufikia mwaka wa 27-28, mapato yaweze kufikia 1 trillion.
All right, that particular story wraps up our program here on EBN Prime Edition. Thank you so much for keeping me company until this particular minute. Of course, on behalf of the entire team that made this particular broadcast a success, we say thank you and good night. My name is Macharia. Have yourself a lovely night, and of course, let's do this again when God says we do.